You know that we come live, and today we have a very important discussion which is about the successful implementation of DART mission. Now, what next? Let us discuss it further. Friends, as you know that yesterday, in fact, rather September 26th, the DART mission carried out their objective successfully. In fact, there were two spacecraft. One was an impactor which collided at a very high speed this particular asteroid, and this asteroid was also chosen very carefully so that it is very far off. It will not have any impact on direct impact on Earth. So this is a demonstration. This is one of the methods of how we can defend Earth from the celestial impact or celestial threats like comets or asteroid. But for each different type of asteroids and comet, there are different solutions, because this method of impacting asteroid will not work for a comet, because comet is a very loosely formed ball of ice. So if you impact it, it will disintegrate, and now instead of one piece coming towards Earth, you will have multiple pieces coming toward Earth. So for basically removing the threat from comets, we have a different solution which we are not discussing in today's live stream. Let us straight away jump into the vital discussion point, that is, now the DART has hit the bullseye. When we will know the impact of this particular project, how much deviation this project or DART has been able to do in the trajectory of this particular asteroid. And basically the whole objective was to send a spacecraft at very high speed. I mean, launch this spacecraft, the DART mission, at very high speed, the highest possible, using a high speed rocket, so that the initial velocity which is imparted into the spacecraft is high, and then use these maneuvers to gain speed. I mean, there are maneuvers in space where you can further increase the speed, and then from because when the DART is finally released, the impactor is finally released, it will go at a very high speed. So NASA had carefully selected a small asteroid, and they wanted to see if the impactor has sufficient velocity. It will have a lot of kinetic energy, and because of that, it will be able to change this small asteroid. And based on this collision, we will be able to ascertain in the future, what is the size of impactor required for a larger asteroid, and also understand what speed it should be traveling to make an impact, etc. So this is an experiment, as I said in the beginning, and this asteroid which was chosen is a very small one, and the impactor was moving at a very high velocity of 22,500 miles per hour. It has a very high speed, so it carried a lot of kinetic energy, and all this is because of the initial firing of the rocket, and then further maneuvers which NASA scientists have carried out to increase the speed of the spacecraft. And eventually it collided with the impactor, not the spacecraft. Spacecraft is still out there in that system measuring various parameters of this particular collision. I think let's talk about this asteroid a little bit in order to understand the answer that we are seeking. First of all, this is not an independent asteroid. It is a smaller asteroid rotating around a bigger one. So it's a binary system where a small asteroid which was chosen, and the small asteroid is now rotating around a slightly larger asteroid called Didymos. So larger one was not impacted, the smaller one was impacted. So now this asteroid is not coming towards Earth. First of all, it is not having an independent trajectory. The larger one is having an independent trajectory. So by impacting the smaller one, which is already in orbit, what we want to see is that whether we are able to change this orbit of the smaller one. That means it should now get closer to the larger one. That was the objective. It is not changing or deflecting the the orbit of the asteroid, which from our point of view it is a straight line. It is actually a orbiting one. So there is very little threat. Very little will change in the universe around us by doing this experiment, and this experiment will give us a lot of vital information, because there are different kinds of asteroids. There are rocky asteroids, and there are loosely bound asteroid also, which look like a huge body, but since their density is very low, so if you impact it, they will simply disintegrate. So this method of impacting an asteroid will work on a solid or like a rocky asteroid effectively, rather than any other type of asteroid. So we need to also know what type of asteroid is approaching the Earth, and this experiment is very important in understanding that. Now the big question is, what next? I think this experiment has given us a lot of information. The information is predominantly immediately available in terms of makeup of the asteroid, the impact, the speed, we know velocity. Now we have to see that was it rocky or was it powdery, loosely formed rock. All that observation is now calculation is being done, and since this is a mild method of protecting the Earth, because what scientists want to do is only nudge the celestial body, not destroy them, because destroying any celestial body which is approaching towards Earth is not a solution, because if you disintegrate the body, now instead of one piece you will have multiple pieces spread across several months. So you actually increase the chance of cataclysmic by destroying it. So that is not a solution scientists are looking for. What they want to do is basically nudge the orbit little bit, so that when an approaching body is coming towards the Earth, you nudge it little bit so that it avoids the Earth and move past by it. That was the only objective. So now the amount of change in the orbit of this asteroid will basically take up, and there will be daily readings by the Earth-based observatories, which will be taken, and it will take several days to come up with how much deviation has been imparted by this impact to this asteroid. Basically what they want to do is that, has this asteroid gone into a different orbit which is much closer to the central asteroid, because anyway it is orbiting a larger asteroid. So scientists want to ascertain that, and since the experiment was successful, we have lot of parameters that we know today. Changes in the orbit, the weight of the asteroid, the material it is made of, how it has been constructed by the universe, was it a loosely held rock or it is rocky in nature, and then over a period of time we will know that has it gone inside further towards its central body, and so on and so forth. So there will be a lot of study by the ground-based telescope on daily basis. It will take several days to ascertain these parameters, further parameters, and that will give us a lot of very good, pristine, good quality scientific data for us to plan future defense systems, and also the real defense systems for Earth, in case there is a threat which is approaching Earth, and we should be able to defend ourselves, whether we need to use a nuclear rocket, or we need to use impactor like this, or we have to just paint one side of the asteroid white in color, so that the light pressure from the sun changes the orbit. There are several other methods, and this is one of them. So I think we will know at least after a month or so about the changes that impactor has imparted to the asteroid. So we will keep track of all this, and I will actually talk about this once the final study is released. But the immediate thing that we should know is that the project was successful. and it had impacted the asteroid. Now we have to make our calculations. That will take several observations for several days, maybe a month or so, and then we will know exactly what changes has happened to this asteroid. So friends, this is a short live stream, and this is something which is very exciting, because now finally humans have started building the defense system for Earth, and we don't want to end up like dinosaurs, because dinosaurs were wiped out completely by one asteroid. We don't want to land into that situation, and hence we started building defenses for ourselves, for the survival of the life on Earth, for planet Earth, and for ourselves also as humans. So if you have any suggestions or any questions, please send us your comments. I will be looking forward to answering each of your comments and any observation. Nevertheless, I will meet you again tomorrow with more happenings in space-time in our multiverse section. Till then, please take care, and bye-bye for today.